Just over 5 weeks ago, our second and third most populated islands, Grand Bahama and Abaco respectively, suffered a devastating blow from Hurricane Dorian. There was loss of life. Numbers we believe will exceed 1,000. More than 600 have been confirmed as missing. Many are displaced. Many have lost everything. Yet, we remain relentless in our quest to rebuild and restore our islands. We are resilient. We are hopeful and optimistic, mostly due to the outpouring of support from the international community, and more specifically from South Florida. Global Empowerment Mission and its partners are here to bring hope to those who were devastated in our two islands, but more specifically Abaco. Not just for now, but for the long haul. They are partnering with the Bahamas government, and their goal is to replace every blue tarp with shingles, remove all the mold from infested dry walls, supply homes with building materials, paint, and generators where needed. And there is a strategic plan for most of the island of Abaco. The Bahamas government has given GEM, Global Empowerment, the port access in Cooperstown so that construction supplies can be delivered for homes and businesses to generate economic activity. We need to bring these people back to normalcy. Our people want to go back home, and they need to go back home. GEM, with its many partners, are committed to this marathon. Thank you for your support and generosity. Together, we will be strong. Together, we will overcome. Thank you, and may God bless you.
Good morning.
Good morning.
What an honor to be here. I know protocol has been established, but I want to establish how proud I am to be in the presence of all of you who have not either followed along in WhatsApp chats for hurricane relief or gotten to know, in the case of Michael and his team here, over the last few weeks, as they've so generously dedicated their hearts, their resources, their time, their lives to this effort. And as you said, Council General, this is not a sprint, although, thank God, you know how to sprint. It is a marathon. It is a marathon, and it is going to be a journey back. But you'll see the efforts of a lot of people led by Michael with Global Empowerment Mission, which we're partnering, Bahamas Relief Foundation is partnering with. And that's not a light commitment. That's a commitment that's gonna, tackle the immediate impact of fixing 1,000 homes, the roofs with construction material. They're gonna get there thanks to you. And we're gonna train the local citizens to actually get up there and help them fix their homes with the tools, with the materials. That's why we're calling for help. You know, Bahamas Relief Foundation is going to partner here because this is the relief execution arm that we believe in, that we know is going to get done. It has the plan. We know that the services and the funds are going to reach and it's going to be executed. And we have a window here that, the holidays are a really important time for people. It's when you come together as family. It's when you celebrate and give thanks. This holiday season is going to be different for a lot of people right now. People need roofs over their heads, and we're gonna raise over the next year. We're gonna raise $10 million to actually put 1,000 homes back into operation and get roofs on those homes. And so we're gonna need the help of the community out there. We're gonna keep coming to you. We're gonna keep asking you to donate funds for us. We're gonna call on the businesses. We're gonna call on the leaders that have the ability to send these supplies in efforts and assistance. I'm really honored to be a part of continuing this forward for years to come and making sure that we don't just tackle Moorestown, Cooperstown, and Treasure Key, that we continue to expand the efforts in Abaco, but also in Grand Bahama. We need a lot more. So when I come, I ask him, please keep your heart open. All right? Thank you.
Generosity has a life of its own. and has the power to ripple on through all of eternity. May we never underestimate the benevolent acts of kindness. And one thing I have seen here in this warehouse, for example, is the amassing of almost all 67 counties in Florida, literally. And this is everybody coming together to help our Bahamian neighbors. And in all the disasters, it's always the same story. There's a lot of promises, and then nothing ever comes through, and the people get screwed. So the idea here was to put together a plan that would, for the first time, actually work. You have to solve this thing on a macro scale. If you don't, you're not going to go anywhere. You can't just keep bringing boxes of aid every single week forever and ever. The first thing we do is we take an island that can serve as almost a refuge shelter island. So we chose Moore's Island, for example. It did not get anything near in damage as Marsh Harbor, but it's still got 100-mile-an-hour winds, and there's still over 230 homes that have tarps on them. Some things got blown away completely. The schools were closed. And there's many people that have evacuated there. They had a population of 700 people. The population will probably be over 2,000 now, and much more after we get this island back up and running. So you got to get the fishing industry in this specific island back up and running. So you got to give the fishing industry fishing boats. You want to get the schools open, but you don't want the kids to be sleeping in a house that's got mold in the drywall, right? And that they're sick in 2 years. So the first thing you need to do is rip all the roofs off, reply them, put felt paper, rip out the drywall, Clorox the walls, put shingles back on, paint the houses, and go in this direction. So we meet with the chief consul of each town. In this particular case, it was at Moore's. We got a list. They need 6,000 2x4s, they need 3,000 sheets of plywood, and so on. The order comes in, and the needs that are very specific to the island. What's the population? 2,000. Okay. We're going to need X amount of pallets of food and water and supplies, so that entire population as a whole has what it needs to be sustained for, let's say, 30 days at a time. Then how many sheets of plywood do we need to repair all the roofs? We have the measurements, right? Because there's a north port that we've been given access to now, the north port of Abaco. Our hopes are to do minimum 1 trip a week, and we'll try to do maybe a little quicker. The boat takes the load in, it gets to the north port of Cooperstown, and again, we have a sheet just like this from the chief councils there of what their needs are. We've identified the neighborhoods because it's a long island, and I am clear on no preferential treatment. And I've actually personally told the chief councils, if I see a house out of sequence, we will literally leave and go to another island. It has to be that way, because otherwise it's going to cause an inner problem with everybody. So we start neighborhood A. We're going to start this week. This week on the ship right now that we're going to bring you. There's enough construction materials to repair the first 24 homes classified as neighborhood A in Coopers. At the very beginning, those homes. The ship comes. The government has given us their warehouses, so we have basically warehouses like this on the port now. We unload our materials, and through our partnership with Blue Tide Marine, which are former Navy SEAL guys who are extremely trained in the country's biggest military operations, they are helping us with the logistics with other partners like HARP, who are our ground partners in Cooper. When everything goes to the warehouse, the construction materials that are needed at the time, right? Because again, this is why things get messed up. You bring people cabinets before you bring people roof shingles, and everything gets lost, and then nothing gets done. You have to have order. So you bring plywood and you bring felt paper to 24 homes. And then we go there with our executive teams, we walk it, we make sure everything got done. The Bahamians are excited about this. This is not about us building it. There will be none of us touching one saw, nothing. We are here, we've amassed all the local Bahamians and Coopers and Moors, everything, that are contractors, and they can't wait to get back to work. They are like, and we are bringing them on this ship, the wood, the circular saw, the generator, the fuel, the extension cord, the nails, the felt paper. And when I come and I see all 24 homes that are already done and they have plywood on it, they will then be given their shingles, their paint, and their drywall, and their Clorox. And then once that's done, then the furniture we have amassed from, at this point, already 300 different hotel rooms that we have from 3 major hotels. Furniture, beds, all these things, right? Because if the sea levels rose that high, imagine how soaking wet your bed is. Imagine, what happened to the inside of your house. Imagine our little children in that kind of black mold. Imagine what would happen to them if this wasn't being done in this kind of executed fashion. When neighborhood A is done, we go to neighborhood B. If someone in neighborhood C is complaining, we tell them, hey, your turn is coming up. And we will go all the way across, depending on, obviously, God and funding, but I believe in miracles and things always come through. And we will get through doing all of Moore's, all of Cooper's, all the way to Treasure. And we're going to skip Marsh for the moment, for now. And then we're going to go into Hopetown. We're going to focus on getting some key things to bring hope back over there. Getting the lighthouse back up. Getting some small businesses back up running. We're not going to be supporting second homeowners, of course. Most of them have insurance and they're from Florida. They'll be okay. All the people who live on the other side of Hopetown that right now are under tarps, we're going to go and basically give them new roofs and put them back in stability. And this is a story that we can all do together. This is, can't call it a partnership, but this is a group effort with the Bahamian government who has been extremely supportive with us. And this is a really big thing, and they are doing the very best they can. I assure you, everybody here is doing the very best they can with the time that they have. Another issue we have, plastic. Why are you bringing so many plastic bottles of water to the islands? Unfortunately, there's not many solutions today in the sustainable world. You bring plastics that are made of sugarcane materials, they'll melt in the sun. You bring them in paper cartons, you'll kill more trees. There's not that many solutions at this present moment. So in order to help with the issue of plastic and to put a little bit of money back into local economies, every time the ship unloads once a week in its port, the locals in that area will be given basically 90-pound garbage bags, and they'll be told to go pick up all the plastic, and they'll be given $5 for each bag at the port. And if someone's smart and they want to go clean up an entire beach and fill their pickup truck, they might make a couple $100. This helps clean the Bahamian beaches, right? Just put some money back in, then they'll spend it. Little by little, there'll be a restaurant that'll be back open in Coopers. There'll be a local restaurant back open here. People have a couple bucks in their pocket, and little by little, there's hope and the economy starts arising. And that's why it's called Empowerment Mission. It's nothing else. So, this is basically the master plan, and now you understand it, and I believe we're going to be very successful. Our hearts are 100% in this, and we all come together, and we do this little by little, island by island, and then we'll get to the bigger islands as we finish these isolated islands that don't have many resources right now. Thank you.